Hello, welcome to Đồng Nai Radio and Television Station. Here comes the news today. Recently, businesses and associations of agricultural products of the U.S. have requested Vietnam to cut its import tariffs on a number of agricultural products of this country. Businesses and associations of U.S. agricultural products have asked the Vietnamese side to consider reducing import duties on these U.S. agricultural products. According to these businesses, current tariffs make it difficult for U.S. agricultural products to compete on prices with similar products from other countries. In addition, they also want the Vietnamese side to create more ventilation in handling and licensing related to technical issues, such as licensing for genetically modified products or plant quarantine. Meanwhile, Vietnamese enterprises also made many specific proposals on commodity technical standards with American enterprises. For example, the percentage of broken corn of U.S. maize is too high to be lowered, or the humidity of some U.S. agricultural products is also high, easily causing mold and damage in the climatic conditions of Vietnam. According to the General Department of Customs, the U.S. is Vietnam's largest timber import market in 2019 with a turnover of $5.7 billion US. In the coming time, the U.S. is also expected to be a market with many opportunities for Vietnamese wood enterprises to increase their market share, especially in the furniture industry. Experts said that the movement of furniture production from China to Vietnam in recent years has been creating opportunities for Vietnamese wood enterprises to boost exports to the U.S. Meanwhile, the U.S. housing market is expected to grow strongly this year. Therefore, the potential for exporting wooden furniture to this market is still very large. According to the Vietnam Association of Wood and Forest Products, fine wood products such as tables, chairs, and artificial boards are products with great export opportunities to the U.S. Although the U.S. market is considered to not require strict traceability documents like the European market, this is still a mandatory requirement that Vietnamese businesses need to meet if they want to increase market share in these potential markets. The Pentagon announced on Monday the plans for the first withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan, while arguing that the violence in the country could not be completely stopped even after the U.S. and Taliban signed a peace agreement on February 29th. Defense Secretary Mark Esper said on Monday that the United States had begun withdrawing troops from Afghanistan, the first steps in what could be a complete exit from the country within the next 14 months. Speaking to reporters at the Pentagon News Conference, Mr. Esper said the initial troop drawdown would reduce the American presence in Afghanistan to 8,600 from the current 12,000. General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, joined Mr. Esper on Monday, saying it was unclear who was responsible for the bombing in Quds Province. The attack underscored once more the many difficulties of enforcing the peace agreement and, at the least, understanding what was happening on the ground. The war in Afghanistan is the longest in U.S. history. Statistics show that since the start of the military deployment here in 2001, the number of U.S. soldiers killed today has exceeded 2,400. Angela Merkel hit out at Recep Tayyip Erdogan, criticizing the Turkish president for conducting policy at the expense of refugees amid tensions along the Greek border over uncontrolled migration flows. Due to escalating military conflict in northern Syria, Turkey over the weekend opened the border for refugees to enter Europe. Speaking in Berlin, Chancellor Merkel stated that Germany understood that Turkey wanted more support from Europe, but that it was totally unacceptable when Turkey forced refugees to suffer. According to her, the problem can only be solved when the EU-Turkey agreement on restraint of migrants is maintained and approved and implemented by both parties. Meanwhile, the Greek Ministry of Defense said the country's army conducted shooting exercises on the eastern Aegean Islands. This is considered a reaction of Greece when migrants and refugees are moving more and more from Turkey to the Greek island of Lesbos, Chios, and Samos. That's all for the news today. Thank you for joining us and goodbye.